What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan, and if you're new here, hi, please be sure to subscribe and turn on your post notifications so that you never miss out on when I post on my channel. I first want to begin this video by saying congrats to all y'all that got into San Diego State for the class of 2025. That is really so exciting. I remember how excited I was when I got into San Diego State, and as soon as I got into San Diego State, I remember just frantically going to YouTube and being like, what are parties like at San Diego State? What's the social life like? Are the classes hard? Like, what's the honors college like? And I did so much research, and I know for me, my whole goal of making all these videos that I have about San Diego State was to be able to provide prospective freshmen answers to their questions and a more clear understanding of what San Diego State is like, just so that when you come to the school, you're not going into the complete unknown, because college is already scary to begin with. So I hope by making these videos that I make you like less scared and give you guys more clarity. And recently, since a lot of y'all have been admitted, my DMs have been flooded with so many questions, and I've just been really swamped with school. So getting back to y'all has been a little bit difficult, or I take a few days and I feel really bad about that. And I know that sometimes you may ask me one question, but then in reality you have so many additional questions. So I hope that with this video where I'm answering all your questions that y'all asked me in a little poll that I made on my Instagram story, that you get more clarity about San Diego State and your worries and anxieties are like settled down a little bit. So for this video, I went through all the questions and I broke it up, Procreate Queen, and I broke it up into different sections. So throughout this video, there's going to be a party and social section, there's going to be a finance section, there's going to be a school and campus life section, and then there's also going to be a housing section. So I hope that makes the video a bit more organized. So if you're just interested in the finance section, you can just skip to that part, or if you're more interested in the housing section, skip to that part so you don't have to watch literally the whole entire video. I'm so excited and hope that I can help you in any way. Let's go. The first topic that I'm going to be talking about is housing. I've made so many videos about this whole topic, so if you just want to go through my channel and watch all those videos, there will be a lot more in-depth insight, but this is just some questions that y'all asked me. So let's begin. To start off, I'm sure a question that y'all are all curious about is, how is freshman housing? Freshman housing for me was absolutely amazing. I would do anything to live in a dorm again. Living in a dorm gave me all my best friends, gave me some of my best memories, gave me friends just in general, in addition to just my best friends, and it really made freshman year so much easier for me because I felt like I had a community at San Diego State University. I will say, going into college, I was petrified of the idea of a communal bathroom, because personally my whole life I've just had my own bathroom, and so the idea of coming to college and having to use a communal bathroom actually scared me, and I was so nervous for it because I don't like other people's hair, and just the idea of it really grossed me out. And I remember Zura, I walked in and the bathrooms near the sinks have no doors, and guys and girls share the sinks, and I was like, oh my god, like what the f. And then as the year went on, it was just so much fun. The bathroom situation in communal halls is honestly perfectly fine. They're really well kept, which I was so surprised about. They're cleaned so frequently, so they're never really disgusting unless someone like yaks in them, and then it takes cleaning like the next day to get there. But overall, the communal bathrooms are really nice, and freshman housing is awesome. Don't worry about it. If you're nervous about it, please don't be, because I know for me and so many of my friends, what we always talk about is how we would die to do the freshman dorming experience again, because dorm life is such a fun life. And honestly, it is the only time in your life where you're going to have that experience of living with hundreds of other kids your age. Don't take it for granted. Appreciate it. Accept the gross moments, accept the tiring moments, accept the loud moments, because it's such an experience that later on in life, you're gonna look back on and be like, that was such a great time of my life, and I'm really glad that I lived in a dorm. Junior vibes, really sad. The next question is, what are the best dorms? As a biased answer, I have to say Zura. I loved Zura. I just love the location of it. So that little like freshman cluster of dorms when you cross the bridge is just such a fun place to live, because there's so many people always there. When you're walking to class, you're always seeing your friends. And then the newest dorm, which is like Wakakak, I don't really know how to say it, is absolutely beautiful. It is a really pretty dorm, and it's massive. And it's nice because Chappie used to be really isolated over there, but now that that dorm's there, there's just so many kids living in that section of campus. But it is a bit far from like Eureka and other places. But then again, some people can live in the dorm and have the best experience ever, so it really is what you make of where you're living. Someone asked, how likely are you to get into the dorm you prefer? And then going off of that, someone said, how does housing work? Will they let us get the top 3 dorms that we want? Honestly, I think they try to take it into consideration, but it is pretty random. But like I said, it honestly doesn't matter where you end up. Where you end up is where you end up. That's fate. Maybe you're meant to be there. Maybe your best friend will end up living there. And it truly is just about making your experience the best that you can. Yeah, some dorms may be nicer and other dorms may not be nicer, but it's college. You're not going to live in like a Ritz-Carlton resort. You're going to live in a college dormitory. But with that being said, we are so privileged and so fortunate to have such nice quality of dorms for freshmen. Like, we are really, really lucky compared to some other schools where they shove them into like old rundown shoe boxes. My experience was a bit different because I was in the honors college, so it was mandatory that I lived in Zura. So I didn't really have a say or like have a preference of where I wanted to live. It was kind of just like, okay, you're placed here, which is that. Going off of that, so as I said, I was in Zura because I was in the honors college, and that's just always where the honors college is. Someone asked, what dorm is the nursing learning community in? I have no idea where certain learning communities are. I do know though that the surfing and sustainability is always in Zura, so kids would always want that one because they wanted to be in Zura, because when I was a freshman that was like the nicest dorm, so kids were like, sweet, if I get into this learning community I'm guaranteed to be in Zura. But I don't know what dorm the nursing learning community or any of the other learning communities are in. I don't think that's something that's released or said, because then kids would join certain learning communities depending on what dorm that's in. So I don't think that's information that's released. Someone asked, how does double dorming work? So my freshman year, quads and triples were this massive thing. Everyone was in a triple or a quad, and doubles were really rare to come by, besides if you lived in like SCP, and so it was kind of the normal where kids were put in triples and quads and they just had to make do with it. And obviously in my mind I was like, I could never do that, but kids made it work. I was really fortunate enough to live in a double in the size of a quad room, and I had one roommate, and that was that. Some roommates, just going off of the whole housing situation, some roommates are best friends, some roommates aren't best friends, and going into college I thought I had to be best friends with my roommate, and that's not true. You don't have to be best friends with your roommate. Someone then said, is housing insanely expensive or is it more manageable once you're out of the dorms? When talking to my friends that go to other schools, they're like, oh my god, I have to pay $800 this month for my apartment. Like, it's so expensive compared to last year. And my jaw just kind of drops because I'm like, oh my god, we pay so much for housing at San Diego State University, which makes sense because you're in San Diego, and in general, San Diego is a very expensive market. But I will say, as the years go on, you should be paying less and less, which is nice. But housing is just really expensive, but there are cheaper options. When you're a sophomore, you can choose to have a 9-month lease, which will obviously be a lot cheaper than an 11-month lease, and you can choose to live in different apartments that would cost less. So as the years go on, you do have the flexibility to pay less. Let's say junior year, you're living in a house off campus. Okay, you can say, I'm just gonna live in a double and I want my max budget to be $750. Obviously, that's a lot less expensive than the grand plus that you're paying when you're a freshman. And also, if you do want to make your housing a lot cheaper, you can choose to live in a triple instead of a double, or a double instead of a single, which will dramatically cut the cost. So that's really all I have to say about housing. So the next topic that I'm going to be talking about is just school and campus. So someone asked, how do you enroll in classes? Because obviously that's the first thing you have to do. So I know for freshmen, you guys register during your orientation, and I have a video actually talking about how to enroll, because I know some kids were like, how do you do it? Last year they were nervous about it. Freshman year, when you are enrolling in classes, it is just kind of a standard process. You're enrolling in your GEs or your beginning classes that are requirements for your major, and you're not deep in your marketing classes or bio classes or environmental science classes where they do have smaller section sizes and they're harder to get in. So freshman year, you kind of just do a normal schedule. You have a lot of flexibility, I would say, in the times that you take your classes, just because there's more sections offered for the freshman classes and they are bigger classes. They honestly don't fill up that quickly unless you have like the last registration time. Then maybe it would be a bit more difficult to get into classes because you guys are the last to enroll. So that's not really an issue though, because you're not competing with seniors for spots or juniors with your spots. My freshman year schedule, I loved, and I told myself I'm not taking a Friday class, and here we are as a junior and I've never taken a Friday class, so it's pretty flexible, pretty chill. Someone asked, are the classes hard? That is an individualized answer, I think, depending on your major and who you are and your work style and how well you do in a subject. That can really depend on how that question is answered. A lot of my classes have been fairly easy, especially GE classes, and I know myself and a lot of other kids what they do to choose their classes to make the workload a lot easier for them is use Rate My Professor to give them a gist of how hard a teacher is. Because let's say you have 2 teachers, you obviously want to take the easier teacher than the harder teacher, unless you want to push yourself and make your life a living. Why would you struggle through a class when you could take an easier option? It just makes your life that much harder if you take the harder teacher. And what sucks in general and in life in college is all that is seen at the end of the day is the grade. People don't know the professor that you had. They don't know that that professor was so unfair, that they were so tough, that they gave you 6 hours of homework a day. No one cares. And so what I'm trying to say by that is make your life as easy as possible. Do the research into the teachers, and that can make your college experience so much better if you take the easier teacher teachers and aren't struggling and staying in every night because your teachers that you took are literally awful. In general, a lot of the teachers are sweethearts and really, really nice. Obviously, every once in a while you will have a really hard teacher, and throughout college there will be classes that are just inherently hard and you just have to push through it. I know me, for example, I'm a marketing major, and when I had to take economics and accounting, that's just not my field. I'm not good at those classes, so I personally found those classes hard. For someone else, they may find that class easy. So it's kind of the same thing as in high school. Some people are good at one subject, other people aren't good at one subject. So that answer is kind of just depending on the person. Yeah, going off of the honors college, I am in the honors college, so I had a few questions about that. Congrats to the person who got in, or there was like a few people actually. That's really, really exciting. Someone said, any tips and how did you find your roomie? One tip that I would say is that some classes are more fun and easier than other classes. So don't your freshman year or beginning of sophomore year feel so rushed that you have to take these classes and settle for the shitty classes. What I love personally about the honors college is that the classes are so unique and so fun, and they are classes that no one else at college would be able to take. I can't talk about how much I love my honors classes, and someone asked about that. They said, what's your favorite honors class? Mine was Living Your Calling, and it was all just about finding out who you are, what you value, what you prioritize in life, and just speaking about life. And it was like philosophically based and discussion based, and I loved that class. So what I'm trying to say is there were classes that were so boring and people just took them because they thought, oh my gosh, I have to take an honors class right now. So I would say my tip for advice with that is just wait it out. Sophomore year is really hard to get into the good honors classes, so just maybe wait until your junior year to take like your 313 ones. How did you find your roomie? For that, you're required to live with other honors kids. So the honors Facebook group is where I found my freshman roomie that was also in the honors college. Someone asked, what does the gym equipment look like? Is the equipment new? How many squat racks are there? I've maybe been in the gym once, I don't know, but the big gym is shut down right now, obviously because of COVID-1, so there's just like the outdoor version of it. I have no idea what's there. They have tents set up where under each tent is, I guess, a rack or an equipment thing where people can use it, and it's just on the turf. But the gym is getting a massive addition to it. It is huge. The construction on it right now is absolutely crazy, and it's going to be so exciting to see what the new gym looks like. So it's going to be huge. And then there's also the smaller gym, which a lot of girls usually go to. It's in the student union, and it's called the Arc Express. Someone asked, how often do you go to the beach? Every week I'm at the beach, which is really exciting. We are so close to the beach. We are 12 minutes away from Mission Beach, which is the closest beach. I think it's like 12 miles or something. So many people are always going to the beach, whether it be for surfing or watching the sunset or having a beach day. It's awesome living so close to the beach. And then senior year, a lot of people do live down in Pacific Beach. So that's really fun, and I'm so excited to live there. Someone asked, how does the cafeteria and dining there work? So I know that some colleges have just your stereotypical cafeteria dining hall kind of food plan, and we have technically, I would only say 2 of those styles. So we have the garden, which is an all you can eat basically, where you swipe in. There's so many different sections. There's like eggs, rice, pasta, pizza, burgers, and chicken sandwiches, and then you go and sit basically in a cafeteria style tables and eat there. But that's the only like cafeteria-y dining hall that we have on our campus. We do on our campus have a lot of established chains. So we have Broken Yolk and Wings and Things and Eureka and Rubio's and Subway, Panda Express on our campus, which is nice because you get to eat food from actual chains and not just like a dining hall style, which is something that I really loved about the school. So there are a lot of dining options. I think I have a whole video about that. The food on campus is honestly amazing. I really like it. I still wish I had meal plan to this day. I had it last year also just because I was really obsessed with the meal plan. And someone asked what meal plan is the best meal plan. I have a whole video about that. So I don't remember off the top of my head what exactly each meal plan is, but I know there's like the Flex 5, Flex 7, like the Fat Boy meal plan. I had a Fat Boy meal plan. I loved it. It was basically all you could eat. You could buy so much food and never run out of money, and you had so many swipes. And so I loved that meal plan. I would recommend getting the meal plan. But if you are going like off campus every weekend, maybe look into the Flex 7 or Flex 5 if you don't eat as much food. I don't even eat that much food, honestly. I just loved having it. I did, in retrospect, I guess you could say, have so much leftover money and swipes that I was paying for so many of my friends' meals. But that was just a fun social thing, I guess, because I could tell my frat guy friends like, hey, do you guys want to go eat like UTK? And there'd be like 10 of them, and they'd be like, yeah, sure, of course. So it was just like a fun way. And in college, I feel like food really socializes and bonds people. So whenever you're going to eat a meal, try to eat it with friends, and it's just fun. So that's it with the whole school and campus section.